morning, everybody. So, life is so joyous. and, yeah, I don't even know what to say. There's not even any words this morning, I don't think. I'm just swimming in a lot of joy, and it's all contributed to who I am and being who I am, and it's quite miraculous. And the lesson today is lesson 199. I am not this body, I am free. And good lesson. So let's read this lesson together and see what comes forward throughout it. And I look forward to sharing it with all of you. I am not a body, I am free. Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive a body as yourself. The body is a limit. Who would seek for freedom in a body looks for it where it cannot be found. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as in a body, firmly tied to it and sheltered by its presence. If this were the truth, the mind were vulnerable indeed. So, as Jesus is saying, like in the first paragraph, that freedom is impossible if we perceive ourselves to be this body. This body is a limitation. It is a form. It is an encasing which our soul can animate. And thus this body is not who we are, but a mere channel of communication. And when we allow ourselves to see our body in its proper perspective, instead of thinking that this body is who we are, or that we need to give this body focus in regards to, what we eat and what we exercise and all of this stuff. I'm not saying that stuff isn't important, but our focus needs to be in our perception of our body and who we think we are, whether we be a body or a soul. Because when we perceive ourselves to be a body, and our focus is to lose weight, to eat as healthy as we can, to exercise, or the opposite, and just eat as much as we can and be completely obese, it doesn't matter, we can go either way, right? Then we are placing limits on our own mind and our own self. Because we are perceiving, first of all, that something's wrong with the body and we need to fix it, right? Second of all, we judge ourselves on our body, thus we judge other people. And through this whole judgment, we're not seeing truly because we're believing ourselves to be a body. So we speak to other bodies and it's bodies talking to bodies, which is egos talking to egos. And that is not true communication. That is not proper perception. And that offers openness for judgment and fear and sadness and feelings of not good enough and unworthiness. And it's all because it's based on the body. And people think we're the bodies. And I went through this whole thing. That was the biggest thing for me. I thought that I had to be thinner, right, lose more weight, and be healthier before I can be a spiritual teacher, before I can help people. Because I was like, well, if I can't help myself, how can I help other people? And the ways in which I was trying to help myself was through excessive exercise, excessive healthy eating, but then also binge eating, right, because you'd sabotage yourself. Right? And so it was this constant yo-yo thing, and you have no idea why can't I get out? Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I be thinner? I don't understand. I do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not working, and all this stuff, right? But it's because our perception is flawed, not because our body is flawed. Our body is a vessel of communication, and when we realize that we are souls, when we are children of God, we give our body to God, and then God could work through our body, and then our body just kind of conforms, like. For me, like I used to have acne, like my hair was a lot shorter and a lot blonder, and I would be really thin, and then I'd be heavier, and I'd be thin and then heavier. But then as soon as I gave my body to God, as soon as I gave my life to God, my body purified along with my mind, because it's impossible not to. So now I have crystal clear skin. Now I have long hair that I didn't even know how all this happened. It just kind of did. I've never really done my hair like this before, right? But now it's like a norm for me. And I'm healthy beyond means. I naturally and automatically go to the foods that my body is needing at that time, but it's led by spirit because spirit knows, right? And so I don't think about it. I don't worry about it. It's not in my mind. It's not in my consciousness because it doesn't matter what I eat. As long as I eat with God and with the intention of love and health, it's my intention that's all that matters, right? And so it's freeing. And I'm thankful actually to be able to share this, right? It's been a big journey for me surrounding the body, and I know it has been for a lot of people. So to move on. The mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever, in all ways, beyond the laws of time and space, unbound by any preconceptions, and with strength and power to do whatever it is asked. Attack thoughts cannot enter such a mind, because it has been given to the source of love. And fear can never enter in a mind that has attached itself to love. It rests in God. And who can be afraid who lives in innocence and only love? Right? And this is the place in which I'm at, like living in complete innocence and complete love. And therefore fear is impossible. Judgment is impossible. Worry is impossible. You know, I used to have fears about, eating something and then gaining weight. And then you'd feel guilty for eating something and then you'd gain weight. Right? And then so it was this like vicious cycle that you trap yourself in because of the thoughts that are going on in the mind. Right? And until we realize that the cause is in the mind and the effect is of the body, we will forever be in the yo-yo up and downs of the physical body life. Right? Which is turbulent. Right? Which is all over the place. It's the yo-yo dieting people try and say. Right? All of this stuff. But then when we allow our mind to move from the mind that perceives itself to be separate, which is the mind that believes it's a body, to the mind that knows it is unified with God and all of our brothers and sisters for all of eternity, which is the mind of love, then we have joined our mind with love, with God, and therefore we can experience pain. Death does not exist, right? Like this body doesn't even exist. This world doesn't even exist, right? Like all of this stuff just falls away because the only thing that's real is reality, is truth, is God, is the eternal. Right? This body is not eternal. This body is a form. I'm thankful for this form in this lifetime, but it is not who I am. Right? It is essential for your progress in this course that you accept today's idea and hold it very dear. Be not concerned that to the ego it is quite insane. The ego holds the body dear because it dwells in it and lives united with the home that it has made. It is a part of the illusion that has sheltered it from the being found illusory self. Yeah, right? Like this body is just a symbol of separation, right? Like this body is the symbol of illusion. Like our mind thinks in symbols, right? And then so in order to understand anything, everything is a symbol, right? And that's what this body is. It keeps us bound to illusions, to limitations, to fear. That's why it's imperative to let go of this body and the thoughts of this body and let go of thinking that this is who we are. It's imperative. It's imperative. It's a huge, huge, huge step, right? Here does it hide, and here it can be seen as what it is. Declare your innocence, and you are free. This is what we were talking about last night immensely. Innocence came up a lot. We had a course group last night. And basically, yes, this topic of innocence continued to come forward. That when we can see our brothers as innocent, completely forgiven because they know not what they do, right? And we see ourselves as innocent, then our physical body and anything that's attached to it or that we give power to it falls away. Because it's our innocence that shines, it's our purity that shines, it's our divinity that shines. And therefore that's the only thing that matters. And we are innocent because our mind traps us in these mind games, right? And then we'll have a lot of food and then we'll feel like shit and we might binge, we might be anorexic, we might be this, we might be that, we might be alcoholics, we might be drug addicts, we might be this, we might be that. All these ways in which we affect the body to make us feel some form of protection,